911, do you have an emergency?
Today on Rescue 911. Then, when a hiker falls into a dangerous mountain pool,
I can't let my friend die in front of him.
rescuers race to lift him from rough terrain on Rescue 911.
We begin on the afternoon of August 26, 1991, in the hills above Fresno, California. Jay Rassey was hiking up to Angel Falls with his two sons.
I've been coming to Bass Lake since I was a little boy, and I've fallen down many times in that stream, and I've cracked my knees and cracked my head, and I've learned to respect the slippery rocks.
David Salinas and John Kubar had grown up in the area and known each other for years, but they'd never explored Angel Falls.
As we were coming up to the waterfalls, we were looking up there going, this doesn't look too safe. I mean, we actually said that. I said, God, if someone came off that, they'd be dead. I mean, it'd be all over with, no questions about it. Except for the top pool. The top pool looks safe.
Those rocks are actually water polished to a real fine sheen. They're like glass.
Good job. Great, man. Want to hear you cheer. I'm bonsaiing this one. Okay. Ooh, and it's cold. Alrighty, you ready? Yeah. Go for it. Down.
We said hi to them, and we just kind of went on our way. They were swimming in some of the pools up there.
We slid down a couple times into the water, and then he moved over to the side, and he was like going to take a little different route down there. There was signs at the top that said, danger, men have been killed here, people have died here, and if we would have saw that sign, we wouldn't have went anywhere near it.
Oh, man. Hey, fellas, come on.
He thought he was going to go sideways into this pool, but from my position across the canyon, I could see exactly what was going to happen. He was going to go straight down.
You couldn't see down below the rocks. There's 3 pools down there, and I did not think I was going to be able to find them.
When we continue,
I was reaching around the field for a leg or body or anything. I was just reaching, feeling. And I thought, I pray he's not dead.
He must have fallen 100 feet, 150 feet behind the rocks and out of my view. I mean, in my heart, I knew he was hurt.
I started to panic. I said, it's going to take me 3 and 4 minutes to get down that trail, and it's going to take me 10 seconds to get down this way. And it was just like an automatic response. I can't let my friend die in front of me. I've known him for too long. He's been my friend since kindergarten.
I looked and he wasn't there. And all the time is going by. And then climbing up to the next place. I looked into a rock pool that's maybe 15 feet in diameter, and I could see human hair.
Your friend's at the bottom! We gotta get him! We gotta get him!
he got airborne. He just went, phew. And when he hit the rocks, I heard the crack of his leg.
I was reaching around the field for a leg or body or anything. I was just reaching, feeling. And I thought, I pray he's not dead. Third time, I don't know what it was. I just shot all the way to the bottom. I pulled with all my might, and he came out. His head was bleeding. I didn't hear any breathing, or I didn't feel any breathing.
I think he was down a good 3 minutes. And as we pulled him to me, I mean, the guy was lifeless. He was limp. His lips were blue. He obviously hadn't been breathing for a long time. To me, the guy was dead.
After clearing John's airway, David began to perform rescue breathing.
I just remember it from high school, and all of a sudden it was just, I was just doing it. It came all back to me.
He was coming to faintly and weakly and slowly, but there's no way he could lay in an icy cold stream for a couple hours and be okay.
I went to stand up, and I couldn't stand up. I looked down on my leg, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I gotta get back. I gotta be able to get help, whatever. But no way.
He says, don't leave us. And I said, well, I'm not going to leave you. I want to help you. So we just hustled down the trail as fast as we could.
Stay with me.
I was trying to keep John warm because his body was in convulsions. He was shaking.
After a 15-minute hike, Jay got back to his van. Almost immediately, he spotted a Mariposa Park ranger driving by.
Up in the river.
Word was relayed to a Madera County Sheriff's dispatcher, and within 20 minutes of the call, rescue units got to the top of the falls.
Mariposa Battalion 4213 Upper Rescue Group at scene. Get Stokes baskets ready.
Fire Battalion Chief Mike Boren headed up the operation to evacuate both victims.
Got a head injury?
We do a lot of rope rescue stuff. We're in there 6, 7, 8 times a year at least. And the remoteness of the area leaves you hurting for a long time before anybody can get to you.
Take a line down that side. Let's set the other rope group up here. Let's run a line right down this way.
Paramedic Ed Guzman and his partner EMT Debbie Carter worked on stabilizing John.
People go down these water slides as if they were on a ride from Magic Mountain, but there are no safety nets. He was conscious, but he was so pale and he was having some trouble breathing, so I was very concerned about his airway. I was also concerned about potential head injury and about potential internal injuries.
Requesting medical helicopter to rendezvous at Batterson Landing Zone.
Normally, we wouldn't encourage people to move a victim, but they did the right thing. They had to get him out of the water. If there's a chance they're going to get hurt more, you got to move him.
He was becoming increasingly short of breath. But once water has entered the lungs, this seriously inhibits a person's ability to breathe or breathe normally. They call it parking lot drowning because a person will feel that they're fine, go home, and then in the parking lot on the way to the car, they collapse.
Well, you're doing all right. You're doing fine.
Having been there so many times before, we know that there's no part of those falls that are safe for you.
I was like, God, I almost died. Now I'm going to really die looking down.
David was taken to the hospital by ambulance with multiple leg fractures, which required reconstructive surgery. John was airlifted by Air Life Services and treated for head lacerations and a concussion, and had water pumped out of his lungs.
If John had been alone, unfortunately, he would have been found probably days later. That one CPR class David took back when was the difference in John's survival.
Coming up alongside you, pal.
It's been a year since David saved John's life.
I can't say enough. He might have gone through some pain and probably still is, but all that kind of transcends the fact that I am around and that he was responsible for that.
I just feel that life's so valuable. You got to do every single thing you can just to stay above. One of my friends is a nurse, and he teaches CPR, and I had him actually teach me the 100% proper way and refresh my memory, and also I'm certified now. Because you never know when you're going to need it.
take some real mountains? Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
I think this whole thing has slowed me down a little bit. It's made me appreciate more the finer things in life, the simpler things in life.
All right, try to test some water? No, let's just go.
The accident inspired John's father, Mike Kubar, to reconcile with his son.
Stubbornness has separated us at times. And I said to myself, I said, whatever differences you have, this is your son.
Is that true, right?
He and I talked. And it's the first time, a long time, we touched hands. It was good to see him alive.
Mike Kubar was so grateful to David for saving his son that he offered to help pay David's medical bills.
To me, David is an angel that was sent here to totally forsake his own life for somebody else, his true friend.
Tragedy knows no timetable. It can strike day or night, often without warning, as the employees on the night shift of a grocery store in Roseville, California discovered on April 18th of 1992.
Bel Air shoppers, Bel Air Market will be closing in 15 minutes. Thank you for shopping with us. Have a nice evening.
The door over here.
Market was due to close at midnight.
Thanks a lot. See you later.
Produce clerk Ched Graham was among the 14 employees working the night shift.
When I finally finished in my department, it was just a couple minutes after midnight.
Hey, Jessica, you ready to go home?
They were all counting out the tills and getting things ready for the next day.
Hi, Trish. Hey. How many texts do you have? 128.
Pat Maldonado, the general clerk that night, decided to leave with me.
Hi, Chad.
Bye now.
Hey, Chad.
See those two people were over that section there? I thought it was never going to do.
Everybody get down! Get down! Get down!
I just saw somebody's gun pointed at one of the checkers' heads.
911 emergency.
There's a holdup at Bel Air on Sunrise and Kirby, quick.
Sunrise and Kirby?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see who's holding up the store?
No, I'm outside the store. They came in just as I was going out. There's cars up front up here.
Okay, do they have weapons?
Yes, they did. They have guns.
How many people?
I saw 4 people, and there's...
4 people? Are they all armed?
What?
Are they all armed with guns?
Like they are, yes.
Pamela Hardwick had been a Roseville police and fire dispatcher for 4 years.
I had never had a robbery in progress before, which made me nervous right off the bat. I knew that anything could happen.
Sergeant Rocky Rockholm of the Roseville Police Department was working as watch commander for only his 4th night.
I was scared to death. I thought of all the things that could go wrong. I said a little prayer to myself when I was rolling to the call that, dear Lord, please let this go well.
Don't look at me!
Stephanie Soulier had never been in a robbery before.
There were just shadows. I didn't see anybody's face. I heard 2 other guys run to the office, and that's when I heard Tracy scream. She's like my little sister, and it scared me. It was just like somebody in my family was going to be hurt.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Are they in front of the store?
I'm in front of the store, and there's a car up here.
Okay.
He sees me, and I don't want him to see me.
Okay. He can't see where you are, or he can?
Going forward right now.
Okay. Can you still talk to me?
Yes.
Okay, what's your name?
He was really scared. He kept saying that there was a vehicle out front, and it was pulling forward.
What kind of guns do they have? They have, like, pistols?
I just like handguns.
Handguns?
I was frightened because I didn't want to be responsible for him getting killed.
Oh, God.
Okay, try and calm down, okay? Are they still in the store?
They're still in the store. I have
Okay.
to leave.
Come on, get up! Move it! Come on!
What part of the store are they in?
The front of the store. Both doors, they're unlocked, but the police officer needs to pull them open by hand.
Hang on for just a second.
I was clueless to what was going on inside. You cannot hear a sound through that wall. It was frightening. It kind of hit me like, uh-oh, Somebody might be dead or shot in there.
Hurry up! Open it! Hurry up! I'm trying to open that thing.
Bruce Hagler was the first officer to arrive.
As I crossed the intersection, I shut off all my headlights.
42, I'll be around the RVs, in front of the RVs, looking into the biller.
You don't want to frighten the suspects inside the store because there was a potential for hostages.
Sorry, apparently the subject is still in the store.
Yeah, from on the Kensington side already.
None of us really knew how many suspects were inside.
Sam 39 to other units. Let's set a perimeter and see what happens.
Oh, God, somebody's coming out. Somebody's running.
Come down here.
Okay, here's the cop. Okay, I see two cops at least. They're
Okay.
I'm talking to 911. Okay, the police are telling me to leave. I gotta go.
Come on. Go way down there. Go way down there.
421, I'm in the rear, 1097 south side. 67, I'm almost 97. I'll go to the back on the north side.
Copy to the back to the north side.
We had the store surrounded. When I saw the four suspects start running along the front, I literally stopped breathing.
People running towards the door. Hold there. Ready up. They're running south.
Please freeze. Please freeze.
Please freeze! Please freeze! Come on! Freeze! Gun down! Gun down!
We couldn't really see what was going on. And then we saw one guy running and nobody was chasing him. We yelled, "There's one over here, there's one over here."
Stop! Stop, open the door! Hold still! Hold still! Put your hands out where I can see him!
Okay, arms where I can see him.
The canine handler, fortunately, stayed on that side of the building. Had he also been sucked around to the front with the rest of us, we may have lost that one suspect. But all of them were captured, and no one was hurt. It was just good police work. And I can't say enough about the officers that were involved in it. They used their gut instinct, and they did everything right.
Correction, contact Lieutenant Shockwaller, advising we got four in custody.
Copy.
Although none of the employees was physically harmed, the ordeal was painful for all of them, but especially for head clerk Kenneth Pickard.
I cooperated in every way with the guys, you know, to keep them from pulling the trigger. Every time they give an order, they had a gun in my face.
There you go, there you go.
The most frightening part was after I'd opened the safe and the leader put me down on the floor and he said count to 10. I pictured my wife and my unborn baby and the flash of red in the darkness.
How about this subject here?
When I came back to the store and I saw that everybody was okay, Ken looked at me and he goes, "You called 911?" I said, "Yes." And he was just so happy. He's all right on, man. He gave me a big high five right there.
I really didn't think that it was, you know, it was too good to be true. It was a blessing. The 911 system really worked.
The four suspects pleaded guilty to armed robbery. 3 of them were adults sentenced to jail. The 4th was a juvenile sentenced to a state youth facility. In the 4 months since the robbery, security at the Bel Air market has been tightened.
That night I did not sleep at all. And the next day I didn't want to work. But I feel like that it's behind me. And I was thankful that nothing violent happened.
If Pat and I would have left just a second later, then I would have been facing the floor like everybody else. Or if we had left sooner, then we never would have known what was going on. So the timing was perfect.
Less than 2 months after the robbery, Kenneth and his wife celebrated the birth of their baby, Kelsey.
She's grown, she's wonderfully healthy, and when you look in her eyes, it just tears your heart out to think that you might have missed out on something like that.
Dad, let's get some pizza.
I'm happy that I'm alive to see my little girl.
Give me the bird action. You want bird action.
On May 28, 1990, more than 100 passengers boarded a plane bound for San Antonio, Texas, and settled in for what they thought would be a pleasant trip. But less than halfway through the flight, at 35,000 feet above the ground, all that would suddenly change.
The co-pilot on U.S. Air Flight 179 was Leonard Jessup.
For me, I had had better than 9,000 hours of flying time at that point. I'd never had any type of emergency at all in my flying experience. We were westbound en route to San Antonio. We were probably about 100 miles east of Memphis.
The plane had leveled off at 35,000 feet. Meals were being served, and flight attendant Dan Matthews was passing out beverages.
Anything with lunch today, sir?
I was serving a passenger sitting in a window seat, and the lady in the row right behind him calmly said to me, "Sir, I don't think my husband's breathing." He was darkish gray, kind of hunched over. He was not making any motion. Ladies, I need you to up and out of your seats right away. Unbuckle your seatbelt. The symptoms that were taught in our initial training, I knew it was total airway obstruction.
Sir, are you okay? Sir, are you okay? Respond to me. Respond.
Using the skills he had learned in his flight training, Dan immediately began performing the Heimlich maneuver.
Respond, sir.
Doing good. Keep going. It's still blocked.
Are you sure it's still blocked?
It's still blocked.
The abdominal thrusts were not working because I could not get him up high enough to get the force. So I started doing chest compressions.
Go on. Don't quit. Keep going. You're doing good. That's it.
Is it coming out?
It's not coming out yet.
I'm not quite sure I could say he was dead or alive at that point, but I knew we better get on the ground or we better get something done here right away.
The victim's 79-year-old wife had been sitting next to him.
It happened so suddenly. And before I knew what was happening, the stewards took me away so that I didn't realize it was as serious as it was.
First-class flight attendant Mike Sullivan notified the captain and the co-pilot there was a medical emergency on board.
Started the Heimlich maneuver. The guy's unconscious and non-responsive.
We're not at liberty to leave the cockpit, so a medical emergency is left up more to the discretion of the flight attendants.
Let us know what we can do to help. Keep us updated. Will do.
Up ahead, there was a commotion on the airplane, and I turned to Eddie and I said, "Eddie, I think something's going on up ahead." I said, "I'm going to go up there and see if I can help him out."
Doing good. Doing good. Is it? I'm a doctor.
Doctors Eddie Sanders and Charles Plotkin, two anesthesiologists, happened to be on board.
I gave several attempts at a Heimlich maneuver and didn't feel as though I could get anywhere.
It had been 4 minutes since the victim's airway was blocked.
So I said, well, if he's choking, the Heimlich doesn't work. I figured a back slap would work well for him.
Anything come out? Others out. Okay.
But we did that, and the situation didn't change at all.
Okay. Clear smell here.
I did a quick finger sweep. There was nothing there, and I attempted mouth to mouth.
Try and give him another breath. I can't move anything.
Was unable to move any air. That is not characteristic of successful mouth-to-mouth ventilation. I should have the sense that I could breathe easily from my lungs into his. Tried to check a pulse on the patient, a carotid pulse, and felt absolutely nothing.
Okay, he's still not breathing.
He was about as blue as a pair of blue jeans. He was totally lifeless.
Here.
If this guy had been in my operating room, I would be really worried and I'd be calling out for help.
They were more than 15 minutes from the nearest airport large enough to land the plane.
We're running out of time. We know what needs to be done. We don't have the equipment.
You have to move some air or nothing is going to be successful from this point on. And at that point I said, okay, we're going to have to cut this man's neck. We're going to have to get a surgical airway.
Eddie, we're going to have to do a surgical airway. Get me a knife. Somebody got a knife? I need a knife. Does anybody have a knife?
There was not a moment to wait. If I don't do this, this man is not going to make it. He's going to be dead. I have nothing to lose here.
From somewhere on the plane materialized a Swiss Army knife.
Open it for me. Give me the big blade, please.
There's no time to sterilize anything. If the man lives to get an infection, you've done a great job.
Hold him real still. Okay, I got it right there. We're gonna have to put something in here, Eddie. We get a pin, please, a tube of some kind.
We asked for a pin to give us some ability to provide a little bit of oxygen to this patient.
This work for you? Yeah, that's great. Just take that apart. Give me the bottom part, please.
I held my finger in that hole. But as I did that, I felt something against it, and instinctively I just pushed it.
The obstruction came out his mouth, and it appeared to be a very large, partially chewed piece of meat. He began to breathe a little bit, and it appeared that his heart had restarted.
And then I'm faced with a whole different problem, and that's the problem of bleeding. It's something I had not anticipated. It just started coming out. It came out in a big gush.
More blood than I've ever seen. I work in an operating room every day of my life. Crossed my mind at that point that we had saved him from the initial problem, but he's now going to bleed to death. We needed to land the plane right then.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a medical emergency on board, and at this time we're going to need your cooperation because we're going to be diverting and landing in Memphis.
And I'm used to dealing with airway problems, but I'm not used to dealing with bleeding problems. The only way I know to stop bleeding is to put pressure on it. And I realized that maybe if I squeezed around the loose skin that's in the neck area here and bring it together around the pen cap, then I could at least put pressure on whatever was bleeding.
The gentleman at that point began to flail around a little bit, to move, to fight. My concern is that he was going to stand up and probably rip everything out of his neck. It literally took both of us to try to keep him from moving.
Sir, please lay still for us. Oh, God. Lay still.
He was starting to regain almost his normal color. And we actually got him to squeeze my hand to command. And that's all I wanted. That means the brain was working. When the plane had got to a stop, by that time the door was open and there was an ambulance there.
Paramedics packaged the 89-year-old victim for transport to the hospital.
We were able to get the man out of the airplane very quickly. The paramedics carrying him in the stretcher with my hand still on his neck, holding the pressure until we got to the ambulance. And at that point, I could not hold my fingers like that anymore. I couldn't. They had gotten to the point where they're so tired I couldn't hold the tight pressure. When I let go, there was no bleeding.
En route to the hospital, Dr. Plotkin spoke with one of the paramedics.
I said, do you come out here often for these sort of things? He says, usually it's to come out and get somebody off a plane, but usually they don't survive. And I kind of felt a little bit good that time because I said, well, not today, not with this man, okay? This man's going to make it.
After it was over, there was just this tremendous rush of emotions and utter amazement that we're on the flight, we're side by side. This happens, we both see it, we're able to respond as a team. It's one of the most incredible coincidences that I could ever imagine.
Jack Sykes completely recovered. 2 years later, he looks back on that day from his home in Yorkshire, England.
My last memory was that I was dying, but I wasn't in distress, I wasn't in pain, and I felt if this is dying, well, there's nothing to it.
Jack will never forget the two strangers who saved his life.
I haven't spoken to them, but we've had correspondence with them, and I'm deeply grateful to them, deeply grateful.
Jack continues to enjoy the things he loves most in life.
I've asked myself many times what I was saved for, what is there for me to do? I think sometimes there's nothing for me to do, and then I think, yes, there is. I have to keep my wife happy.
We've been married 44 years, and are we still happy? Yes, 100% as we were when we got married. You know what it says, Jack? Wales, a small country, has literature which is among the oldest in Europe.
Every night, before I go to sleep, I say, I love you, in case I die in the night, so that she will remember that my very last words were, I love you.
In June of 1992, Rosemary Aird Bradley and her family moved from the East Coast to a home in the suburbs of Englewood, Colorado. They were looking forward to a new beginning. But just 3 days after their arrival, all their dreams seemed to come to an abrupt end.
Come on. There we go. Let's go.
Stephen's 2.5, and he's just a very outgoing, active child. His biggest asset and his biggest drawback is that he never thinks to ask whether or not he can do things. He's just very independent and thinks he can do anything by himself.
Okay, guys.
The children's grandmother, Estelle Bradley, was there to help with the move.
Rosemary and Stephen and David were downstairs in the basement, and I was at the staircase masking around the railings because we were going to be painting them.
You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up.
The boys were running up and down the stairs to the second floor with the toys that belonged in their bedroom.
David, where's Stephen? I guess I can take some stuff up. Where'd you leave him at? Is he in his room?
Kristen, have you seen Stephen? No.
My first reaction whenever he's been out of sight is to check the pool. And I went to the glass doors and I looked and said, okay, he's not in the pool. I wasn't particularly concerned, but I said, okay, everybody look for Stephen.
Stephen? Stephen, are you in here? Stephen?
8.5-year-old Kristen found her little brother.
I just happened to look out the door. I picked him up and I looked at him and I said his name because he didn't look like he was alive. His lips were blue, his eyes were purple, and it was really scary.
When she yelled, knowing that she was out at the pool, I just thought, oh my God.
At 11:34 a.m., the call for help came in to South Metro Communications dispatcher Doug Terry.
Fire paramedics. Hello. We have a child. He's 2.5, and he split his head open. He fell in the pool, and we need help.
Okay. Is the child still in the pool?
No, he's not in the pool. He's out of the pool.
Where is the child right now?
He's with his mother, who is a nurse.
The initial call came in as child with a head injury.
Split above his eye.
Okay. Is the child conscious right now?
Just a minute, please. Rosemary, is he conscious? No, he's dead. Oh, my goodness.
What's the matter, ma'am?
He thinks he's dead.
Is the child breathing?
Is he breathing? Rosemary, is he breathing? No, he's not breathing.
All of a sudden, when I find out that the child's not breathing, unconscious, they think he's dead.
To do CPR.
Do you know how to do CPR? I forgot. She forgets. She's so upset.
Okay, how old is the child again? Okay, I'll tell you what. If you can relay the instructions, I'm going to walk you through it. Okay? Okay, what I need you to do is place the child on its back on a table or floor and strip the chest. Take off the shirt or whatever's there. Okay? We need you to place one hand on the forehead.
One hand on the forehead.
The other hand under the neck.
One hand under the neck.
slightly on the neck, so the chin points up.
So the chin points up.
Okay, with the hand that was on the forehead, you want to pinch the nose closed.
Pinch the nose closed with the hand on the forehead.
One of the reasons we follow the protocol cards that we do is it's step by step and it's exact. Because if you aren't following things to the letter, you can do a lot more damage to the person than actually helping them.
He's not breathing at all.
When we continue,
I felt desperate, but more than anything, I was just thinking to myself, you can't fall apart. You just have to concentrate on what you're doing.
When 2-year-old Stephen Bradley was pulled from the family's backyard swimming pool, he was blue and not breathing. Using instructions given to the child's grandmother by a 911 dispatcher, his mother was performing rescue breathing. But her little boy still showed no signs of life.
Okay, we're going to go into compressions now.
Yes.
Okay. What I need you to do is place the heel of one hand in the...
Place the heel of one hand.
In the middle of the chest, between the nipples.
Between the nipples.
And push down with your hand.
Push down with your hand.
1 to 1.5 inches. Just like you're pumping the child's chest. Okay, then one breath of air. Then 5 times. Okay, and keep doing that repetition until help gets there.
I felt desperate. I felt scared. But more than anything, I was just thinking to myself, you can't fall apart. You just have to concentrate on what you're doing.
Will they be here soon?
They're on the way, okay? Where are you in the house?
We're outside.
Outside in back?
Outside is the back, yes.
I was crying so hard, no tears came out, but then Mommy said go outside and wait for the ambulance, so I did.
You're doing a good job there.
I didn't know what was happening because it was so scary.
Arapahoe County Sheriff's Deputy Teresa Keenan got there within 4 minutes of the call.
When I arrived at the house, I knew immediately that I was the first responder on the scene, and I was going to have to perform whatever needed to be done. So I felt a heavy weight on my shoulders.
They clear here?
They're pulling up?
Yes.
I'm going to let you go, ma'am. You did a fantastic job. You did everything you could, okay?
Thank you.
Have you cleared his mouth?
I began a resuscitation on him immediately.
Okay.
Then I felt for a pulse,
No pulse.
and I could feel no pulse on him.
Come on, baby.
I thought he can't be dead. He has to live.
Okay, go.
And I was feeling really guilty. You know, how could I let something like this happen?
Within a few more minutes, advanced life support units arrived, led by paramedic Bob Smith.
With the information we had, everybody pretty much was thinking the same thing. We're going to cut and run with this.
We're ready to go outside, guys. Let's go.
His heart was not working. He wasn't breathing on his own. So the quicker I could get in the ambulance and we can intubate him and start medications if we need it, then the quicker his heart's going to start again.
Hey, we got a normal sinus. Got a pulse? Check for a pulse, will you? I got a pulse. You got a pulse?
We knew because his heart rate came back that we were getting the oxygen into him that he needed.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
All I can do now is hope and pray for the best outcome.
Stephen was admitted to Littleton Hospital, where he was examined by emergency physician John Riccio.
Anytime we hear about a child coming in whose heart is stopped, we all initially have a very emotional moment where we kind of are a little bit scared and a little bit angry, and we all say to ourselves, how can this be happening?
That sounds really bad on both sides. Let's go ahead and visualize his cord, please.
When he got to us, he was not breathing on his own at all, and his lungs sounded horrible.
Okay.
He had been in the water for several minutes without oxygen, and he was just in serious condition at that point.
Let's mix up like 200 milligrams dip Dilan and get it into him.
He started to seize. We were able to control those seizures. Directly following that, however, Stephen started to posture, which is even a worse sign of brain injury. And we were concerned that if he did survive, that he would have severe brain damage.
Let's go ahead and just give him repeated treatments.
At that point, I thought, okay, he's alive. But then when I saw him in the emergency room, all hooked up to everything, it was more devastating than hopeful.
Two-year-old Stephen was transported by Air Life helicopter to Porter Memorial Hospital in a coma. His mother and father stayed by his side for 4 days.
I just held him in my arms, and finally he woke up. His speech was very slurred, and he was so weak that he couldn't even sit up on his own. Monday morning, when the doctors came back in to see him, the kid was running down the hall. They said, "This kid's a miracle," and he is.
He certainly bounced back faster than anyone thought he would. But I don't think any of us were really surprised, because he's a very strong little boy. We're very, very thankful for that.
I think we were always pretty careful about watching our kids, but it's made me realize that all it takes is a minute to have an accident. If you're moving, it's a very disorienting time, and you got to be especially careful because your kids don't have a routine, and you don't know what kind of trouble that they can get into. We should have had a fence put in before we moved into the house, but we've got a big fence now and a padlock and another lock. And I still worry.
Okay, don't yell at them.
Although 2-year-old Stephen escaped without injury, his parents have been changed by the incident.
You find yourself realizing how precious life is and how quickly that can be snatched away. They look pretty, don't they? So you do your best to appreciate everything that life has to give you. You might have little flaws, you know.
It makes you realize that our kids are our priority in our life, and that we're very, very, very fortunate to have them. And it sort of made me more of a humble person, just being given a second chance and having Stephen back and having him back 100%.
Oh, it's starting to wake up.